A very pleasant good evening and welcome to Startup Talk from Indian River State College with your host, Tom Kindred.
Thank you, Greg, and welcome to another segment and installment of Startup Talk. The show is designed to assist and help Treasure and Research Coast residents who want to start, grow, or accelerate their business. And as I always say, what a great place it is to own and operate a business along the beautiful Research and Treasure Coast. We're also going to spend some time during our hour to highlight and create awareness regarding what I always refer to as the powerful and robust business assistance and support programs which exist right here in our communities at our very own Indian River State College. My name is Tom Kindred Jr., and I'm the entrepreneur in residence at Indian River State College. Our show, as always, is powered today by the Coleman Foundation. The Coleman Foundation is a private, independent foundation that focuses on entrepreneurial endeavors. So, good evening, Greg. How are you this evening?
Doing well, doing well.
All right. Anything we need to be updated on this evening? Any new news?
Well, as far as Indian River State goes, we have a home basketball game, and that's going to be Saturday.
What time is that?
For folks driving around, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you will see the number 4 team in America.
Wow.
Eastern Florida coming to town. So,
I may have to be there.
Yeah, it should be a good one. Should be a good one.
Beautiful. All right, so we're ready to talk some business and entrepreneurship, and I always tell folks when I get this opportunity that if I had taken the time to become engaged in and participate in the business assistance programs offered at Indian River State College, I am confident that I could have been a better manager, owner, and operator. The college, its president, Dr. Massey, and the board of trustees have done an incredible job of building what I always refer to as a powerful one-stop shop for business assistance and support through what we call the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurial Development Institute. The EDI, as we call it, is made up of the Small Business Development Center, the Business Incubation Program, and the Corporate and Community Training Institute. Those of you who were with us last week, you may remember we had both Bob O'Brien from the CCTI and Jack Hopkins from the SBDC with us. And we talked an awful lot about what those two entities do. And much of the support in this program comes in the form of training. Both the CCTI and the SBDC provide numerous business training programs across the Research Coast, in all 4 counties, in all 4 campuses. Business training comes in the form of multiple topics, everything from human resource management training to customer service to how to improve cash flow in your business. These training courses are designed to help and assist local businesses improve their operations. Tonight's show, we're going to be talking about social media and its importance to startup businesses and, frankly, to all stages of enterprise. To lead our discussion tonight on social media in business, we have with us one of CCTI's star trainers, Miss Leann Haag. Miss Haag.
Hello there.
How are you this evening?
I'm doing great.
Leann facilitates and conducts courses in the area of social media for the Entrepreneurial Development Institute. Leann also founded, owns, and operates her own internet marketing company, C-Level Marketing. Welcome, Leann.
Thanks. I appreciate you having me on.
And I think Leann has brought along one of her clients to bring us some real-world perspective on this social media space and the role it plays in business. And I'm also really honored and pleased and proud to have with us today what I refer to as a local business legend, Mr. Steve Barnett. Mr. Barnett, are you out there?
Hi, I'm out here, Tom. Great to be here.
Yes, sir. Well, listen, we appreciate you spending some time with us tonight. Many may remember Steve as the owner and the operator of a number of local businesses, including multiple automobile dealerships across the Research Coast. But he is not here tonight to talk cars. Steve is going to update us on his latest business venture, a telecommunications startup that he founded. Steve is going to discuss his company, True Mobility, and how he is engaging and taking advantage of the business support programs provided by the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurial Development Institute. Steve, I look forward to hearing an update on True Mobility. So stay with us and hang in there. And we're gonna start tonight as we always do, with an update from Mr. Bob O'Brien, the coordinator for the Corporate and Community Training Institute. Bob, you with us?
Hello, Tom, Steve, Leann, Greg. How are you doing?
Hey, Bob.
All right, Bob, get us going here. What's hot and what's coming up in training next week from the CCTI?
Oh, Tom, what isn't hot? We've got 16 classes, personal and professional development opportunities for employees and the research coach over the next 3 weeks. So what isn't hot? Let me tell you what some of the topics are. We've got this Saturday coming up. We've got some pre-licensing courses for registered customer service reps, anyone that's interested in getting into the insurance world, selling insurance. We have the pre-licensing course in the classroom live 2 weekends, and that starts this Saturday. We also have a Taste of Italy, which is a cooking class. It's going to be out at the Mueller campus,
Nice.
featuring our Culinary Institute, and that's a great class, and I believe it's full. And not only are they're going to cook.
Well, and the Mueller Institute, too, also has, doesn't it have like a full commercial kitchen there where everybody, that's where they can take part in the class, correct?
Yes, sir, and that's where they're going to do this class. They're going to not only cook some great food, they're going to get to eat it as well.
Wow, okay. I want to just come for the eating part.
And then Monday night, we've got a series started with where we are offering great classes to the downtown small businesses in Fort Pierce. And this Monday, we've got a cash flow management course, and that's going to be from 6 to 9 at the First United Methodist Church.
And that was a program that basically you and the EDI put together to respond to really some requests from Main Street, Fort Pierce Main Street, and Lincoln Park Main Street, Pamela Carruthers and Doris Tillman, to really bring down some training to small business and downtown merchants. Is that not correct?
Yes, we were looking for a way to help out the small businesses in downtown Fort Pierce and the Lincoln Park corridor. And last week we kicked it off with a great customer service class. And this week we've got the cash flow management. And then the following Monday on February 16th, our own Leann Haag there will do the introduction to internet marketing and try to help the small businesses in downtown utilize social media to help promote their programs.
Yeah, excellent. And I believe Harbor Community Bank is sponsoring this whole series of business trainings, are they not?
Yes, they are. They stepped up to the plate. They're sponsoring the classes, so the classes are at no cost to the small business owner for the downtown Fort Pierce. So we're excited about that program. Also, Tuesday night, we've got a basic Microsoft Office class beginning. It's going to meet, it's a 12-hour course. It meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays over the next 2 weeks, beginning February 10th, and that's basic Microsoft Office with our great instructor, Bob Gibbons.
Right.
Thursday during the day, Leanna will be in town and doing a social media class for open enrollment. This is for anybody to come along. It's all about Google, how to utilize Google to increase traffic to your web page. So that's Thursday, 9 o'clock in the morning on February 12th.
All right. Well, that's a very full week of training, Bob. As I tell people all the time, all you have to do is go to that irscbiz.com site, click on the events calendar, and I promise you will be impressed at the number of business training offerings that CCTI and SBDC provide every week and every month throughout the year at Indian River State College. So, Bob?
Let me mention the one more class.
Yeah, go ahead.
Saturday, February 21st. This is a medical coding for professional services. This is a great class. It's a high need. We train the coders out there. We make them better at coding, and we also include the new ICD-10 software that will be coming around the corner soon. It's a great class. It's an expensive class. You can get help. If you're currently employed, you can get some financial help at Career Source. So I want to mention that a couple weeks out because it might take a little bit of time to get that. But yes, irscbiz.com. You'll be able to scroll through there and find all of our great classes. 16 classes over the next 3 weeks, utilizing subject matter experts like Miss Leanna Haag.
Okay. Well, great segue back into our topic. Bob, as always, thank you so much for the update. Look forward to hearing from you again next week. We appreciate your support, and we appreciate all you do for the local business community. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tom. Have a great show.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.
Well, as you can see, very long list of great training topics, and I can tell you that Monday night is going to be impressive. I talked to Jack about his presentation on cash flow management, so I would encourage anyone who has the time to come out again. Free training on Monday night at the First United Methodist Church, provided by the Small Business Development Center. Monday night.
I've heard about cash flow.
Yes.
Don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is, right? I didn't see much of it either. So, all right, let's get started tonight. Great topic tonight for entrepreneurs and really any stage business: social media and its role in the startup community and existing businesses. Leann, I've had the opportunity to participate in a number of your social media courses that you've conducted, and actually you've conducted a few of those courses really specifically for our incubation program. So it was nice that we kind of got some one-on-one with our incubator clients. And when one sits through one of your courses, it's obvious that you possess a deep and thorough understanding of social media.
Thank you.
Let's start with a little background on yourself. Tell us where you gained all this knowledge here, Leann.
Basically, I got my formal education at UCF up in Orlando, and then did some regional marketing and national marketing for Allstate. Worked with their local agents in the local geographic area around Colorado, where we had moved out for a few years. And then started doing some work for Jeppesen, which does aeronautical charts, and did their national marketing for them. So really I got an exposure to how to implement both large and small marketing plans. And as the industry trended, started getting more into internet marketing, and really found myself when we moved back here into Port St. Lucie, hometown, that there was a great need with local businesses needing an understanding of how to market themselves within a geographic area, but also more so how to get presence locally here online. So basically then just started kind of working with local customers and got involved with the college, and have really been able to reach out and help educate people from there.
So you founded and currently own and operate your own internet marketing company, is that correct?
Yeah, C-Level Marketing.
All
and basically work with people from as far to Melbourne down to Jupiter, essentially even West Palm. And
we've had the opportunity to kind of introduce you to some incubator clients that launched. So you've actually, taken on some of our incubator clients as they've launched as clients of C-Level Marketing.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So answer for me quick. Define social media for me. Let's start right there.
When usually people start asking me questions about what is social media, how does it work, I usually try to break it down into, if you were to consider yourself to be in a networking situation at like a local networking lunch, things like that, there's a large gathering of people there that you are trying to target. Social media is an online gathering of people where you can take advantage of that gathering to promote your local business. So, basically you are going into that room of people, you're shaking hands, you're building relationships, you're being personable. You don't go in there saying I'm so great, let me sell you my product and service. You're going in there building relationships. So social media is taking advantage of an online gathering of people and building relationships with them so they can contact and interact with your business.
Wow. All right, so identify for me some of the typical social media apps as they're referred to. What and again, some of them may sound familiar to some of us, and some of them we may never have heard of. What are the textbook social media apps out there?
You mean networks that people tend to be on, like Facebook and LinkedIn and
Yep.
Pinterest? I would say for this local area, Facebook is the juggernaut. If you want to get some exposure for your business here locally, definitely Facebook. Pinterest is emerging as a great option. It's basically an online, it's an online pin board. If you were to imagine a cork board hanging in your office full of ideas, Pinterest is basically the online equivalent of that, where people go on, do specific searches to gather ideas. And the great way about that is it's great for real estate, it's great for baking, it's great for, projects, things like that. And then LinkedIn is obviously the business-to-business network that everybody's very familiar with, but is, again, a great way to establish and build your network.
Well, talk to us about some of these that we're hearing maybe more from a younger set. So, like Instagram, that is also a
right. So then, if you want to reach the younger crowd, you're going to go the way of Twitter and Instagram.
Okay.
Those are the two younger crowds that tend to be going in that direction. Instagram is all about photos. Twitter is quick 140 character news blips. So you got to think about Twitter as like a social network that has a search engine attached to it because you can get the quickest up-to-date information.
Interesting CBS News story 2 days ago about Facebook, that the younger set was not utilizing Facebook as much because their parents were on it. How about that?
Well, sure.
So
sure,
they're utilizing
That's right.
the other modes of social media.
That we parents are still trying to figure out. That's right. I came across a very interesting stat in a Harvard Business publication that on social media, and it was about adoption rates, and it very interesting. It talked about how the telephone came to market in 1876, and it took 89 years to reach 150 million users. Basically, in contrast to Facebook, which only took a little less than 5 years to get 150 million users. So kind of talk to me, Leann, about this rapid adoption rate. I mean, what's all this about? What's driving this adoption rate?
Because you're allowing people to connect and establish relationships online. Now I have the ability to log in and see what my friends are doing across the country. It's great for parents and grandparents to check in and see what's going on with their grandkids. It's great for, building relationships with people that have like-minded interests. So there was a vacuum out there that nobody realized existed in the fact that people do want to connect online and they do want to build relationships online. And it's, the reason for the wild success of Facebook is they're connecting with people that they know in the real world, and then they're meeting new people that have the same interests that they do.
Now, quickly, tell me a little difference. Everybody now, of course, understands web pages and their, relationship to businesses. You have to have that web page now. But is social media really part of the web page? Is it all part of the same space?
I always say that your website is your home on the internet. It's your front door. So your social media is just the way that you're advertising where your home is. Really, because your website is where you're going to have all your core messaging, all your services, things along those lines. Facebook and all these other social media outlets is basically a way to build relationships with prospects and customers in a way that you haven't had before, but also a way to promote where your home is, so that way people can come and learn more about you.
Startup business, which is what we're very much engaged in at the EDI. Should a person start or launch a business without really addressing or creating some sort of social media strategy?
I think you should. I always stress launching your business online in a stepped approach. I always say, first, you need to build your house. So you have to have your website, number one. 2, you need to figure out what are people searching for online. So you need to figure out your keyword research. And those 2 components are what you can use to drive the rest of your promotional activities. Your promotional activities are Facebook, email marketing, internet advertising, all the different ways that you're going about to promote your business. But first, you kind of have to have a home. You got to build your home.
Right. It makes sense. Now, should a business try to engage in all of these different social media apps and networks, or is there a limit? Are some more important than others? What's kind of the strategy there?
I say it's really impossible as a small business owner. You're trying to run your business to try to conquer all of these networks all at one time. I say prioritize what makes sense for your business. In my social media classes that I go through, I actually give you the demographic information for each social network. And based off the demographics, you're able to determine what network makes sense for your business. So Pinterest is all about women age 35 years and older. Is that your demographic? If it is, then you want to get on Pinterest. Facebook is pretty much everybody. So, look at the different social networks, look at their demographics, and then tackle it from that perspective. Build your Facebook presence first, build your Pinterest second, build your link, whatever in order of priority based on the demographics. Build it one at a time, because you can't, Rome was not built in a day. You can't try to do all of these social networks all at one time.
so that's kind of the startup space. What, so often we talk to folks that are out there that are have an existing business, been around for even multiple generations in our region. And, because the owners tend to be maybe sort of kind of from my era, the baby boomer era, they didn't start the business with a social media strategy, so they've never really taken the time to get engaged. I mean, what do you tell that existing business? Obviously, in entrepreneurship, social media is obviously a big part of the whole launch, concept. But what do you tell that existing business that hasn't engaged in this yet?
There's so many opportunities for the existing business because there's so many things that you're doing and that you have as content that you don't even realize. You can get customer testimonials and put them on social media. You can do project highlights. You can do, tours of your facility. You can, if you're sending flowers to your customers for, a thank you, you can get them to post that online. There's so many different activities that you're undertaking. I've actually had Joe Connolly, who owns Recovery Insurance Adjusters, call in tonight, and he fits that existing business space. He actually started off his promotions, in the print realm and had to learn how to move it over to internet. So yeah. I think a great person that we could bring on to speak over that real quick would be Joe.
Joe, are you out there?
I certainly am.
Yeah, welcome, Joe. Well, listen, it's a pleasure and an honor to have you. Yeah, talk to us about, so you were an existing business, never had really engaged or participated in that social media marketing area, and then so you had to kind of get into it after the business was well established. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Sure. My business has been around for about 10 plus years, and as Leann shared, I started off with the print media 10 years ago, and what I kept on reading in the newspaper was all the social media components, and it gets a little bit overwhelming and confusing, but you have to get there. So I actually took a class up at Indian River State College, and I was taught by Leann, and she had some great concepts and ideas, and she made it understandable for me, so that as I ran my business, she gave me a framework of what I should focus on. And then from there, as she was explaining, I had to get my house in order, and I was able to create a web page and then step that into keywords and get into Facebook and LinkedIn. And for my application, Facebook has been a great tool. I've reached clients that I don't think I normally would have reached, which has obviously driven up my revenue. So I'm very, very pleased with the process.
Nice.
And I look forward to, as Leann says, it's a growing step by step. You can't do it all in one day. It takes time to devote to it.
Right. And
you have to put a budget of money to do small pieces, but it's really the time to invest.
And Joe, just to kind of give people an idea, go ahead and tell them really quickly like what your business is and what you do, so they kind of have a concept.
Sure. What I am is I'm a public insurance adjuster. I'm licensed by the state of Florida, and I am an advocate for property owners when they have an insurance claim, whether it's water damage or fire, or we haven't had one for a while, which is a great thing, a hurricane. But there are people out there that don't understand how to get some support or some help with trying to go through the maze of an insurance claim. And by being out there on the different social media, I'm actually introduced to people that normally wouldn't know my service exists. So I'm able to connect with people that, again, didn't know my service was available, and they reach out to me so that I can advocate for them and be able to get the money that they're entitled to from their insurance carrier.
Okay, I mean, great story. And so your work with Leann and the college in the social media training, you really have seen some positive change in your business by becoming engaged in all of this the social media space. Absolutely, I can't speak highly enough of the direction my business has gone as a result of taking these steps and going away. Unfortunately, from the print side. I just wasn't getting phone calls. It wasn't generating anything. And putting my marketing dollars into the social media and web page and mobile website is another big thing. My clients that I
that I'm getting now are finding me on their smartphones.
Wow.
Hey, Joe, are you using video at all on your website or on your Facebook page?
On my Facebook page, I have started to use it, and what I'm finding is that it seems to get a lot more interest
Yes.
on a 30-second clip than a picture. A picture is a great thing, but video seems to really entertain people. Everybody, I think, will become a society of a 30-second commercial. People want to gain knowledge very quickly and then move on to the next piece.
And that'd be why we're doing an hour-long talk show, right?
Well, that is something that I do mention to people is when you're talking about trying to drive engagement on these social networks is what's great about Facebook now is when you upload a video onto the Facebook platform, it actually auto-plays as you're scrolling through the news feed. So as you're scrolling through, you'll notice that the video will start to just play on its own without you having to click the play button. That draws people in because there's motion on the page and it's interesting. And, so definitely is a great tool to use.
And talk to me about equipment that's needed to take this video to upload. Just smartphone? Is that video high quality enough to use?
Generally, I mean, Joe, I'm not sure what you're doing, but usually you can just take a video right with your phone and then upload it straight to Facebook.
That's exactly how I'm doing it, and I actually just updated my phone once again. I was using an older phone, which was great. My new phone is even better because it allows me different other apps to start editing my videos to make them a little bit more entertaining, and it doesn't take a lot. I do a lot of work in the field, so I'm out seeing different properties, both commercial and residential, and it's a great time management tool because I don't have to come back to the office and do all this updating. I can do it right in the field before I leave that property. And it's just an extra 3 minutes to do it, and it gets me great return.
Okay. Well,
That's
Joe,
amazing.
Yeah. We really appreciate it. I mean, that's the candid, real world perspective of what this could mean to a business, and I guess your advice to anybody who's not engaged in this social media space, get started, get a plan. And again, what's nice is that it all started with a class that's offered fairly regularly at a convenient location like Indian River State College. Is that right, Joe?
That is correct. That's how it all started.
Okay.
Sitting in a class and getting introduced to somebody like Leann and getting introduced to even more of the concepts. It's a lot to take in as a business owner. You want to focus on your business and you want to deliver for your clients. And it's sometimes a challenge to carve out some time to, change your perspective on how to market. But if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have the clients that I currently have, and it's reflected in my revenue. And it's a reality.
Well, and that same Harvard Business School report that I quoted earlier about the adoption rate also really kind of touched on the whole idea that the in spite of the rapid growth of this social media and its significance really to the impact on customer behavior and consumer behavior, a lot of businesses still aren't engaged in it, even though there's this understanding that it is helping. And obviously Joe, certainly recognized it and took action on it. But there's still a lot of folks out there that just aren't getting engaged in it. I mean, Leann, what's your advice there? How do you get started?
Well, it's one step at a time, so you got to kind of, great place to start is obviously one of my workshops, get the foundational concepts, and then, really start building. If you don't have any web presence at all, get that website going, and then we can figure out keyword research to figure out what people are searching for, and just, step by step, get you up and running to where, you can get into a manageable situation. There's different tools out there that can post on Facebook for you. You can pre-schedule, so you're not having to go onto Facebook and think about, I got to post something at 9 o'clock today. You can actually pre-schedule that using a tool called Hootsuite. And, basically kind of just gradually work yourself into it until it becomes something that you're used to doing.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
that's amazing. You're opening a whole new vista here. This is great. Yeah.
Well, it's a great topic, and
Yeah.
it's an important topic in business today because everyone really in business has got to be engaged in social media. It's just too important. There's too much going on out there, on the internet. And as Leann pointed out earlier, that it's where consumers are gathering now. So you're going to have to be out there.
See, I could have told Joe, though, that newspapers don't work. Come on. Joe, what about radio?
Okay. Well, Joe, listen, if you don't mind, can you stay on the phone in case we want to touch back with you?
Sure, absolutely. Not
Okay.
a problem.
All right. Are we ready for a break?
We can do that.
All right, listen, stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to talk to local business legend, Mr. Steve Barnett. Looking forward to that. Stay tuned.
Fitness professionals and personal trainers are in demand, and the Corporate and Community Training Institute at Indian River State College is now offering personal trainer certification courses. This course will cover all topics necessary to provide students with the most current training, testing, and certification to practice as a professional certified fitness trainer. Classes start February 28th at IRSC's main campus in Fort Pierce. For information, visit irscbiz.com.
The Quick Talk Foundation of Martin County presents IRSC and the Miami Heat on WPSL and the Orlando Magic on WSTU. The IRSC Pioneers host one of America's best, Eastern Florida, Saturday at 1:45 on WPSL. The Magic open the week in Oklahoma City Monday night, San Antonio Wednesday, coming home with the Lakers on Friday, and Chicago Sunday. The Heat visit Detroit Tuesday, Minnesota Wednesday, and San Antonio Friday on WPSL. IRSC, the Heat, and the Magic are brought to you by St. Lucie Draft House, Indian River State College, the home of a 21st century education. Nice Hair, calling the Treasure Coast since 1973. And Huskins, Turco, Lloyd & Lloyd on WPSL and WSTU.
The Corporate and Community Training Institute at Indian River State College is now offering social media marketing. Courses are designed to give students a working knowledge of these valuable business tools through a hands-on learning experience. You'll learn more about internet marketing and customer engagement through social media. Mobile Marketing 101. All about Google, YouTube, Google+, and how to drive higher search rankings. For workshop dates and more information, visit online irscbiz.com.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Well, welcome back to IRSC's Startup Talk. I am Tom Kindred Jr., the entrepreneur in residence at Indian River State College, and we appreciate you joining us tonight. And at this point, I want to bring online and reintroduce Mr. Steve Barnett to our community. He's been around a long time. Steve, you there?
I am Tom. How are you this evening?
Great. And it is an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show tonight, Steve. I really appreciate having had the opportunity to work with you over the past number of months. So give us real quick, start us out with just a brief background to refresh our memories of your history and legacy here on the Research Coast in terms of business.
Well, I'd be happy to. And before I go down there, I also wanted to comment on Leanna's class. I had the opportunity to attend with Tom, and I just thought it was great. I still do refer to the notes, and we use a lot of it with True Mobility.
Well,
Having
excellent.
said that, I had the opportunity at a young age to find the Treasure Coast, and I went into business in 1981 and founded what was called then Steve Barnett Pontiac, Cadillac, Jeep, and DeLorean. And over the years, we added a number of other brands and expanded to Vero Beach. And we also had stores in Michigan simultaneously. The car business was wonderful. Unfortunately, in 2005, I had the opportunity to see the writing on the wall of where it was all going. I thought this was a good opportunity to try some other things. While I was in the car business, I became involved with telecommunications. We were actually the very first Cellular One agent. They were the first cell phone provider in the market when it first came online. We were a reseller for them. And before that, we actually, a lot of the Grove owners might remember us, we used to install those old IMTS phones. That big tower there in Fort Pierce that AT&T had was the only one around if you wanted to have a mobile phone. So I went back quite a few years in that. And then while I was in the car business, some folks approached me that wanted to figure out how to sell telecommunications to auto dealers. And they had a unique offering that they were working on, which had to do with creating private cellular systems. They were doing them on cruise ships, and they really only had a short time interval because they wanted to sell their wireless spectrum that brought them into the business. And I was more interested in the telecommunications opportunity side, and I ended up buying it from them as I transitioned out of the car business. And what we do at True Mobility is we currently cater directly to small and medium-sized businesses. So when you think about telecommunications today, if you're in business, I would hasten to say every business owner, operator, manager has a cell phone. Many of them still have desk phones. They all have internet access and everything in between. We take all of those technologies, we merge them together so that they all work as one medium for the business owner. So what do we mean by that? Today, everyone's cell phone is kind of a silo of communications, which it's standalone. It has its own phone number, its own voicemail, its own messaging, and it really has no relationship to the business phone system. With True Mobility, all that merges together, and it doesn't matter whether you're a cell phone or whether you're a desk phone. You're a business endpoint of communications, and your customers should be able to reach your people no matter what kind of device they call on, and it should be invisible to the caller. They just want to reach somebody. So in the True Mobility world, if you're called on your cell phone or your desk phone, they can ring in any combination, anytime, anywhere, no matter where you are in the country. So I can appear on my cell phone sitting on the west coast of the United States in the same way that I can sitting in Port St. Lucie. Yeah. And when you take all those technologies and you merge them together, it drives the cost out of it. So you don't have, you're not paying, an AT&T on one side and a Comcast on the other side and all these different vendors, and each one of them has to have billing and customer support, devices, and you have to interact with them. So in our world, it's kind of all in one. So think of us as both a nationwide cell phone provider. Think of us as providing internet access, and then finally your typical desk phone service, and merging that all together. It's really been fun. I've always loved technology. It's one of the reasons too. When I got the chance to attend Leann's class on social media, it was refreshing and fun. Yeah.
And I can tell you, Steve, that when we first began to work together, and I learned about True Mobility, looking back over my past business ownership, we had multiple locations. We had folks out on the road selling. So True Mobility's system really made sense to me, and I expressed that to you. And of course, as I've done with many people, I said, Steve, where was True Mobility 10 years ago? Because True Mobility certainly could have helped us consolidate our telecommunications system, consolidate billing, which were big issues in a multi-location establishment like I was at for 20 years. So I got your product, and it is an incredible product and incredible offering. So you've done a great job with it. Now talk to me real quick. Kind of go back through. You had the opportunity to participate a couple of years ago in a business plan competition, and that's kind of where our relationship started off. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, that's correct. So a couple of years ago, a number of venture capital groups, Indian River State College, the different economic development groups got together and wanted to see what could we do to bring more small businesses online and give them an opportunity to thrive here in our area. And I was approached by one of the folks who was a friend of mine and said, would you think about entering True Mobility in the Treasure Coast Business Plan competition? And so we did, and as it turned out, we were proud to be the inaugural winner, which introduced us to the resources of Indian River State College and all the work that Tom and his team are doing. So what did that do for us? That exposed us to Leann and her program, focus groups. In the last 2 days, Tom and I have facilitated focus groups for a product that we're considering for the collegiate market, for the cell phone market, where we actually expose some concepts once to a marketing class and to a business class there at the college. We got not only some great feedback, but we got an idea that I believe will totally change the way cell phone service is being sold to the consumer. I mean, it's really that good in an area that's.
So let me just. I just want everyone to understand. I mean, part of what our our Entrepreneur in Residence and Incubator program does is we bring these resources. One of the things that you and I had worked on was we wanted to get some of that young person, that student feedback, and you came and you said, Tom, what about we talk to some students, and we were able to put 2 focus groups together, like you mentioned, and spent some time in the classrooms doing these focus groups, and that's where you came up with some of these thoughts, right?
And I would tell you, yes, absolutely. I would tell you the focus group is such an invaluable resource. It's really not overly difficult to do once you can track the audience that you're interested in marketing to. But you get some feedback. There's just no other way to get it, no matter how much research you do. There's nothing like personal opinions. So there's that. The other thing that I had the opportunity to be introduced to through the college resources is some of the funding sources that Tom has contacts with that are also involved in searching out business opportunities for themselves, which is to finance up and coming businesses. It's also been fun to get involved in I call it Tom's Shark Tank.
Right. Right. You actually serve as one of our panelists on what we call the Pioneer Pitch Panel. Tell us a little bit about your involvement in that. We've seen some good success with that program.
We have. So I think hopefully all the listeners have had an opportunity one time or other to watch Shark Tank. So this is the local version where real businesses pitch real concepts to local and regional investors to launch a small business. And there have been some fantastic ones. And I know a number of them have actually gotten launched. And it's been fun to, I call them kind of mini mentoring that we do from the panel, right, giving them some concepts and some ideas to take back and improve what they do. And I know a number of them have received financial offers and ultimately funding.
Yeah.
So,
and Steve, I can tell you that you're one of my go-to panelists. I really appreciate your involvement in that group, because you really do bring years of practical applied business strategies and a work that you can help these folks with their business model and business plan. And you've participated in this whole startup community where you've founded a company, you've started a company, you participated in business plan competitions, you had to build those pitches, you've had to look and meet with potential funding sources. So you're really a very important and strategic partner with us on that panel. You really bring a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, and I know that the folks that have been in front of you certainly appreciate your candid and real-world feedback on their business plans.
Well, thanks, Tom. It really is all about giving back. And, as you're helping people, most times, at least in my case, I feel I'm getting more out of it than those that I'm helping. You always get great ideas that are always actionable as well. And some of those folks that I've met at the panel really have. They've given me ideas that I'm able to take back and use in my own businesses as well. Tom, I've only ever done startups as I started to think about it. I don't think I've ever had the privilege or, the benefit of walking into an ongoing business and figuring out what to do next. It's all I know from being, a young man. And so, but really the resources there at the college, the video studio, the things that we're able to produce there, it's just people learning that it's there and taking advantage of it.
Yeah. So talk to us again, just where is True Mobility today? Where do you hope to take True Mobility? What's the 3-5 year vision for True Mobility? Obviously an impressive company, and you've done some great things with it already, but where are you headed with True Mobility?
So, yeah, great question, Tom. So, as you mentioned, we launched, and it's been business to business, so to speak. All our customers are to date are small and medium-sized businesses from coast to coast. So our goal is to expand our distribution. As I mentioned, it's a hyper-competitive business. We're competing with the AT&Ts and Verizons and Comcasts for the same customers. So we have to do things better, more efficiently, and offer them, frankly, a better mousetrap at a better price. So our goal is to continue to raise some capital to increase distribution. We've now got the foundation in place where what we do, we can expand almost infinitely. We're in the process of, as we speak, it'll be in the next 2 weeks, of totally modernizing our our switching center, which is located in Seattle. We will have an incredible product as far as our hosted voice, which will also work on the mobile phones as well, and the feature set that we're going to be bringing out here by the end of February, really will be second to none. And we're going to take that and expand across the country. We've added some more local sales reps here in the market.
Yep.
I
was going to say, you actually have, your True Mobility has created some jobs along the Research Coast.
Yes, we have. We're really proud of that, and it's really fun, to be able to, when I first started this, I thought most of our customers would come from outside of the Treasure and Research Coast, but we've had the privilege of being able to do business with so many local companies. Some of the folks I've known from over the years, and others are new to us. And it's great to be able to go in and take something that they just took for granted and take it to the next level with their telecommunications, make it more efficient, less costly, and take that cell phone and have it do things that they never thought was available to them.
Steve, I've got a question. Verizon just sold, or in the process of selling, what was it? It was like $14 billion worth of towers. American Tower is buying $5 billion worth of towers. Are you into that side of the business, or are you just leasing space on those towers?
That's a really good question. Thank you for that. So the answer is some of both. On the nationwide basis and locally, we lease space on a special arrangement that we have with Sprint. But what our special arrangement also includes, and what brought us into the business, was we have a unique agreement where we are able to deploy small cell systems. So, and we're actually going to be deploying one that's going to cover a couple of city blocks here in the next couple of weeks up in Vero for a business whose cellular coverage was not up to what it should be, and they wanted it to be, 5 bars inside and out. So we do both. We just were able to put together a relationship with a large company in Pennsylvania that provides services to the fracking companies. If you follow anything on fracking, Greg, it's they're always in the middle of nowhere, it seems. And when you're in the middle of nowhere, there's no services and there's no cellular. And these folks, they have the financial resources, but the best they've been able to do is satellite. So they approached us, and they said, can you provide cellular service at an economical cost? And that's the other thing we do. We can create coverage where it doesn't exist. That was the technology that really launched True Mobility. So, some of the people have seen these little devices you can pick up at your local Verizon, Sprint.
Yeah, the hotspots.
The hotspots, right?
We use that for IRSC basketball. Yeah,
that's right. So think of that product on steroids. We have those products that will light up small towns. And it's the identical technology.
We need to talk when we start the television.
That's it.
That's how we can stream. Thank you very much.
See, this is an entrepreneurial, what we call collision, right here on
That's
Startup Talk.
A head-on collision. This is great.
That's right. So if you were to come and Tom has to our office, we kind of have the mid-sized version, and your cell phone works perfect all the time because we literally have a mini cell tower that's about the size of a pizza box sitting on the counter. And then we have large ones that go on top of the buildings, like I said, that will do small towns.
See what you're going to learn, Greg, on Startup Talk.
This is amazing.
I know.
Yeah, this is amazing.
It really is, and that is what's so important about us getting the word out, that people understand that we are working. There are entrepreneurs out and about along the Research Coast, and we've given those entrepreneurs a place to gather, a place to collaborate, a place to learn, get training, and that's really what the Entrepreneurial Development Institute is all about. And Steve is just a great example of a great mind, a great entrepreneurial mind, a great business leader in our community who really understands startup and entrepreneurship and understands that we can't be everything to everybody, but when you come look at our program, Steve, certainly was astute enough to say there are pieces of this program that I can use. I don't need everything, but I'm going to take advantage of what I need. Is that a fair assessment, Steve, of really where you are in our program?
Very accurate, Tom. I couldn't agree more.
Right. So, and that's what we're trying to get the word out. We want to let folks know that there is a place to come. And again, it's not everything to everybody, but there are certainly parts and pieces that everyone can take advantage of that's in business. So, Steve, again, thank you so much for being a part. Thank you for updating us on True Mobility. It is an impressive Research Coast startup, and I will do anything you need me to do. It's a great company, and I believe in what you're doing. So we certainly appreciate your participation and appreciate you participating in other ways, too, in our program, such as our pitch panel. So we appreciate you, Steve.
Thank you.
Leann, as we wrap up this evening, social media. Again, Steve, let's go back to you real quickly. What your thoughts on our topic tonight, social media? Where are you on that space?
I think it's great. I can tell you that we've hired people off LinkedIn. We've made customer contacts. We're currently, some of the folks that work for me wanted to try some email marketing. They were so excited yesterday that they actually got 2 real companies down in North Palm Beach County off of their email marketing that have invited us in to solicit them.
Okay.
So I'm a firm believer. I think it's fantastic.
All right. Well, we appreciate that endorsement. Leann, give us your closing comments on our topic tonight, social media. You are our social media expert. Go.
Yeah, I encourage you guys to get involved, get in knee deep, and get going, and definitely come out to the workshops. Let me
when is your next workshop, Leann?
Yeah, let me give you some workshop schedules. We've got the All About Google, which is YouTube, Google+, and driving higher rankings and search through blogging. That's February 12th. We've got a Facebook Intensive, which is 3 straight hours of just Facebook. So if you really want to get into Facebook, that's March 5th. LinkedIn, Twitter, and Pinterest, which is spending an hour on each of those individual networks, an hour on LinkedIn, hour on Twitter, and hour on Pinterest. That's March 26th. And then marketing to smartphones and why email is important. So this is really, as Joe Connolly said a little bit earlier, everybody's searching for him on their smartphone. So this is a class to address that and the email marketing that Steve just addressed. That's April 16th. Learning some strategies for that. So
and these are reasonably priced courses, are they not? This is not a major investment on the part of any business, right?
No, it's I don't have the exact number, but I think it's around $50 or $60 a class.
Right. Okay. All right. Joe, you still with us? Was Joe still with us?
Yes, I am.
Yep, Joe. Listen, again, appreciate you coming on with us tonight and giving us that real world perspective. You and Steve are so important to us because it is important that we hear from those that are actually out there in the trenches of business. So we appreciate you coming out. Any closing thoughts on our topic tonight, Joe, social media?
If you're not currently doing any type of social media, you should be. It will improve your client base, and it will make you a healthier business.
All right, beautiful. I couldn't have said that better. Leann couldn't have said that better.
Exactly.
All right. I guess that is it for another episode and segment of Startup Talk. Thanks for tuning in. All the business assistance programs and resources discussed on the segment tonight are available through IRSC's Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurial Development Institute, engaged at every stage of enterprise. For more information on the EDI, its programs, and a complete listing of upcoming business training events, please visit www.irscbiz.com. That's irscbiz.com. As always, thanks to everybody. We'll see you next week.
WPSL Port St. Lucie, WSTU Stewart.